Witcher 1 Remake will come after The Witcher 4. CD Projekt Red is setting expectations that they won't take on, I think they meant take on more work. They won't take more work than they can take. They won't take on more work than I don't know. It's a clunkily written bit there. So they've said that they're not going to start working on it until after The Witcher 4, to be completely clear. And this I actually am kind of glad to hear, because basically what's being disclosed here is just that they are setting a clear, concise limit. They're saying, listen, we're excited to start working on it, but we're going to take one project at a time. I think one of the things they learned about their whole process while working on Cyberpunk 2077 is that when you have multiple pots on the stove, you have a lot of chefs in the kitchen. And then when you have certain chefs trying to cross over and help with all different pots on the stove at the same time, it ends up just making things chaotic. And it doesn't work as well as just having like a few people who are really good at what they do working on that one thing until it's done. And so they're trying to shake it up, because you guys will remember we went and said that we read that article where they went through the development process of Cyberpunk, and then we watched the announcement of the like remastered version of The Witcher 3, or the next gen edition of The Witcher 3. And in that they said, oh, while we were working on Cyberpunk, there were a lot of people that came over and started helping on this next gen version of The Witcher 3 because they just love The Witcher so much. And it's like, oh, so that maybe explains some stuff, because a lot of the people working on Cyberpunk would regularly leave their desks and go help with another project instead of what they were supposed to be doing. So I think they're learning their lesson, and they're just coming out and saying clearly, listen, we're not doing that same thing. We're going to work on it, and we're going to work on it when the time comes. But we're going to get this one thing we're doing down pat. We're going to make it awesome, and then we'll move on to the next project, which I honestly think is probably the best bet, because it doesn't sound like they have a huge collection of individual teams and studios. There's going to be a lot of overlap where members of the teams help each other and work on different stuff, especially something like a Witcher 1 remake, where there's some veterans who have been at the studio for 20 years and would love to work on the Witcher 1 remake and return to that, but you know, they need to finish their primary jobs first. So I think that's actually kind of good to hear. At the very least, they've learned something, right? They've learned something.